it's Corrina, and I want to thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be doing a little feel-good yoga class to just kind of open up some of the common areas of tightness, like the hips, and we're going to be doing a little bit of work in the shoulders as well, kind of counteracting some of that forward shoulder posture that so many of us are doing throughout the day. If you have a specific issue or a specific area of the body that you would like me to address in a future video, I hope you'll go ahead and chime in down in the comments below so I can design a yoga class just for you. We're going to begin here seated on our mat in our easy seat with our legs crossed. I'm actually sitting on a yoga block right now. You could sit on a stack of books or a pillow. It just kind of helps make it easier to sit up nice and tall in this position when you elevate up the hips. You could also use no prop at all. But go ahead and find your kind of nice neutral spine here. So noticing that you're not slouching too far forward and feeling really nice and elevated. We're going to begin by working into some of these really tight areas around the neck. So go ahead and begin finding that nice tall spine, and then drop your chin down toward your chest. You should feel a really nice stretch along the back of the neck here, and just breathe into it. I know for myself, I can feel just a little area kind of just letting me know, hey, I'm a tight muscle. So I'm just gonna breathe into that area of tension. And then as you exhale, maybe you find you can drop the head a little bit lower, stretch a little bit more deeply. And then keeping your head kind of in this position, just gently guide your left ear towards your left shoulder. So we're just kind of gently starting to move into the side of the neck, but the head is still kind of dropped forward. It's a really small movement, and then go ahead and drop back down to center. And then slightly dropping the right ear towards the right shoulder. Breathe here. And then dropping the head back through center, go ahead and move back to the other side again. Nice deep breaths. And then dropping back through center, now bringing the head to the right. And go ahead and drop back through the center here, and really nice and slowly lift your head back up. Really nice. So now we're gonna take our left palm and set it on the mat just next to us. You can kind of leave the fingers kind of tinted on the mat a little bit so that we can maybe creep our fingers out a little bit. But to start, go ahead and find that nice tall spine, just gently setting the left palm on the mat beside you. So finding this nice tall neutral spine here with the left palm gently touching the mat. Go ahead and drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. And now you should be feeling this really nice stretch on the left side of the neck and shoulder. Breathe here. You can just gently even walk your fingers out a little bit more to get a little bit more of a stretch. On your exhale, maybe you let the ear drop a little closer to the shoulder. And go ahead nice and slowly bringing the head back up through center. And now we'll do the other side. So now placing the right palm down on the mat beside you, lifting up nice and tall, and then dropping the left ear towards the left shoulder. Noticing what feels different on this side. Noticing what feels the same. Breathing here, and then slowly lifting the head back up. Okay, great. So now setting both of your hands down on your knees, we're gonna do a little seated cat and cow. So we find that nice tall spine here. And then push your hands into your knees to pull the chest forward. So here we come into our cow pose. So getting a back bend through the spine, gently lifting up. So don't crane the neck so much. Just gently looking upward. And then exhale, start to round the spine back behind you. And then exhale as you start to round the spine back behind you, coming into that arched cat back. Inhale, come back to that cow, baby back bend. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow pose, bending the back, pulling the chest forward. And exhale, cat. One more time, inhale, chest pulls forward. Exhale, cat, chest moves back. And then coming back to that nice neutral spine here, we're gonna get into the neck one more time. So go ahead, bring that left palm to the mat next to you here. And then we're gonna start to drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. Already, I'm feeling a little less tension here. And then slowly think about kind of dropping your chin here. And we're just gonna do this really subtle little stretch. You're kind of feeling through the muscles of the neck as you just kind of rotate around here. Noticing any areas that feel tight. And when you find a spot that feels especially confrontational, like this spot I am in here, I'm just gonna breathe into it. And then slowly dropping the head back down, putting both palms on both knees. And then bringing your right hand next to you, you can start to roll the head to the other side. And again, kind of moving through these really little subtle movements. Feeling the side of the neck, a little bit into the back of the neck. This kind of sweet spot, kind of halfway in the middle, is where I feel it the most. And then dropping the head back through center, placing both palms back to the knees. Really nice and slowly lift your gaze back up. Okay, so I encourage you to try shifting the position of your legs a little bit. So my kind of go-to position, I have my right foot under my left shin. So I'm gonna switch, now leaving the left foot low and bringing the right foot on top. And just kind of noticing, sometimes we're gonna feel a little awkward the first time we kind of try a different position, but it's really nice to kind of try to bring some balance to both sides. So now we'll take a few little twists. Go ahead and lift your arms up nice and tall, elongating the spine. And then we're gonna twist to the left side. So bringing your right hand to the left knee, your left palm goes to the floor behind you. Twist here. Breathe. Inhale. And then as you exhale, see if you can twist a little deeper. And then lifting the arms, spiraling the arms, coming back through center here, and we'll do the other side. So finding lots of length through the spine, and then twisting to the right. Left palm to the right knee, Right arm back behind you, helping you really pull into this twist a little bit. Take a nice breath. And as you exhale, see if you can twist just a little bit deeper. Inhale lifts you back up nice and tall. And you can bring your arms back down. Just roll the shoulders out a little bit here. Forward and back, just kind of loosening up the shoulders. And we're gonna come into a tabletop position. So just starting to lift up, I'm gonna move this block over, and then we'll plant the palms under the shoulders, the knees under the hips, finding some stability here. And then go ahead and tuck your toes. We're just for a moment going to hover the knees off the ground. Feel your core engage. Feel your arms pushing into the ground underneath you. Go ahead and lift those knees up. Breathe here. Nice and engaged through the core. My arms are working, abs are working. And then go ahead, replace the knees. We'll come to just stretch out the toes for a second here. I love this pose. I do it all the time. Hopefully you guys don't get sick of it. Remember, if you're just kind of here, gently leaning your weight into your toes, that's a great place to start. After a few moments, you can let them go and kind of just swirl the ankles around a little bit. But if it feels okay to sit all the way back onto this little toe stretch, breathe here. Great. So now let's come back into that tabletop position. We're gonna start again by just hovering the knees over the mat, and then we'll push the hips back all the way into our downward facing dog. You can keep your knees bent in down dog, or start pedaling them out, working into those hamstrings. So here we go. Lift those knees, engage the core. A little bit easier the second time, and then pushing your hips back towards the back of the mat. Start to pedal your feet out in your downward facing dog. So you want to kind of notice, you don't want your face to still be in line with your palms. Your face should now be back a little bit and your arms stretched out in front of you. Go ahead, pedal here. Feeling that nice length through the spine and the legs. And then we're gonna pull ourselves forward again into plank. Go ahead and set the knees down. We're gonna come to a Sphinx pose. So dropping down onto the forearms, belly comes down to the mat. So getting set up in our Sphinx pose here. So we're just resting on the forearms. And then I want you to think about kind of lifting through the shoulders. So notice if your shoulders are way up by your ears, and feel that you're pushing forward. Kind of feel this stretch in the top of the shoulder there, and it engages the arms to lift you up. Think about sending your chest forward in front of you. And breathe here for a moment. Notice that stretch through the spine, how nice that feels. And then you can also play with your gaze a little bit. So if you kind of look down, as if you're looking toward your navel, you just get kind of a different sensation here. And then go ahead, lower all the way down. You can kind of bring your hand as a little pillow for your face to rest on the mat. Take a few breaths. And then when you're ready, we're gonna place the palms next to the rib cage, tuck the toes, and feeling that your whole body is engaged here. So your core, your legs, we're gonna push straight up into a plank pose. So feeling nice and strong here. Feeling that core engage. And then go ahead and drop the left knee to the mat beneath you, and we're gonna step that right leg through. So kind of feeling set up through the legs, and then go ahead, bring the palms back to the mat, and we're gonna lift up on that left leg. So you tuck the toes of the back foot. You can even cheat it back a little bit there, and focus on that nice, deep sensation you're feeling in the left hip flexor. You can even bring the right foot out a little bit more to help you feel stable. And then breathe into it. So we're gonna just kind of move between this pushing forward a little bit and then pushing back. If you wanna come onto your fist here, that can be kind of a nice way to just keep the wrist a little less engaged. And then drop that left knee down. And we're gonna bring the right foot out a little bit wider. And then you can kind of roll onto the side of that foot. Go ahead and lift back up on the left leg, coming into our lizard pose. So now we open the right leg, open the right hip. I'm gonna come up on my fists here. And we'll just kind of breathe again. And lowering that left leg. Now we'll bring the right leg in for a little pigeon stretch. Sitting up nice and tall, and we've done a lot in this hip flexor, so let's do our sleeping pigeon. We're gonna fold over this leg, feeling it a little bit more in the right glute. So once again, down on my forearms. You can stay up if that is better for you. Breathe into that sensation, and then after a couple of moments, I like to kind of cheat my left foot back a little bit. And then we'll get ready to come out of it, moving back to that plank pose. So pushing into the palms next to you, tuck the toes of the left foot, and then in one nice movement, coming back to plank, replacing the right leg, finding that nice stable plank pose, and then drop your right knee to the mat. Now the left leg will come forward. Okay, so getting set up here on the left side. Go ahead, now we'll bring our hands back to the mat on either side of that front foot, and then lifting up onto the toes of the right foot. You can bring that leg back a little bit. As much or as little as you need to feel that really nice stretch through the right hip flexor. Actually, be a little bit farther back. You can use that fist if you want to. We'll just kind of breathe into that hip as we gently move back and forth just a little bit. Drop that back right knee and start to bring that left foot forward, coming onto the edge of the left foot and kind of opening the leg open like a book. So you can even press that leg open a little bit if you want. You can come down lower if you want. It's pretty intense for me. I think I'm gonna stay up here. Just breathing into it. And then using your hands to support you, bring that left leg in at an angle beneath you. Come into that pigeon pose, lifting up for a moment, and then draping your body over the front leg, feeling that left glute really lighting up, really feeling that stretch. I'm gonna cheat my right leg back a little bit just to feel it a little bit more. And breathe here. It should feel really good, even if it's a little intense. That intensity is one of the ways your body says, hey, I needed that. Thank you for that. And then pushing into the palms to bring yourself back up. And then once again, in one nice big motion, we're gonna lift ourselves up, putting the left foot back, coming to our plank position, and then child's pose. So lifting up, nice firm plank. I always find I need a little bit more space. And then drop the knees, send the hips back, coming into child's pose. Breathing here. You can bring the arms down to your side. Let the shoulders relax. And then we're gonna come down to recline on our back. If you have a clip in your hair, go ahead and remove it now so you don't lay back on your clip. And then coming down first onto the forearms. Breathing for a minute. Then you can kind of push into your forearms to help you lift the hips up a little bit, and then slowly roll down, feeling your back completely kissed against the floor. Hug the knees in towards the chest. Should feel really nice, that deep hip flexor compression we're getting, kind of balancing out some of that deep hip flexor stretch we were getting. And then we'll start to open the hips out, bringing the feet to kind of kiss one another. And then bring your hands down to your ankles so you can take a hold of your ankles here. So just kind of breathing into the hips. And then go ahead for a moment, extend the legs up in the air. You can roll the ankles out a little bit, one way and then the other. And we're gonna take cow face pose. So with the legs up in the air, bring your right leg to cross over the left, and then both knees will bend. So both of the knees should be in line with one another. And the first time you do this, you may be here and this may be feeling plenty intense, but go ahead and flex through the feet. So feel that the feet are flexing with the toe coming back towards the knee. And then you can either just kind of hug the knees in, or you can grab either the feet or the ankles and start to pull the legs in toward you. Breathe here. Notice the deep stretch you're feeling on your right side. You can either hold still or just kind of gently rock here. And then after a few moments, maybe you're able to bring them in a little bit more. Breathe, smile. And then releasing the hands from the legs. Go ahead and bring them back up in the air again, rolling out the ankles for a moment, and we'll take the other side. So now left leg will come to cross over the right, both legs bend at the knee, and then flexing your feet so that your toes point back at your knee. Start to hug the legs in. Deep stretch through the left glute. Breathe here. these nice little gentle rocks. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and lift the legs back up. Pointing the toe, flexing the toe, just kind of feeling that sensation of having the legs up over your head. And then bend your knees here. Slowly bring your feet down to the mat. You kind of feel your abs engage just a little bit to help you lower the legs nice and slowly. And we'll come into our Shavasana. So you can take your Shavasana with the knees knocked in together. So feet can be out on either side of the mat and knees knocked in. Or you can go ahead and spread out nice and big, taking up lots of space. Go ahead and tuck the shoulder blades underneath you a little bit so you actually get even a little bit more opening through the chest. Palms are facing up. Be really proud of yourself for coming to your mat today, doing something that's really good for your mind and your body. It can be really easy to feel like we don't have enough time for things like this, but you do make that time. You should be really proud of yourself. And you can stay here resting in a silent Shavasana for a few moments if you like. Whenever you're ready, we'll start to roll onto our right side. So bending my left leg, bring my left foot to the mat. And then using my arm as a little pillow here, using your hand to help lift the body back up, coming into that easy seat. The same position we started in class, but this time without the block. Notice if this position feels a little different. I know for me, I feel a lot more comfortable in this position now. So go ahead and bring the palms to touch here, hands at heart center. You can drop the chin to the chest, bowing towards your hands. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I really hope you'll chime in down in the comments. Either let me know what you thought about this class, or if you have any requests for future classes you would like to see. And I can't wait to see you in the very next video. Thank you so much. Bye.
Many of our subscribers don't see our videos. Make sure that you click the notification bell. And if you haven't already, follow us on social media for tips, tutorials, giveaways, and daily inspiration. Join us for 14 and 30-day programs, hour-long classes, and much more on our yoga app, Yoga Plus by Psychetruth. It's free to download and features a variety of wellness content, including yoga, fitness, Pilates, guided meditations, and interviews with dozens of wellness experts. Start your 14-day free trial today by clicking the link below.